we've gone in Next Advisory from like free content to, okay, I'm sick of people signing up the shit, saying they'll come and they're not doing anything with our content. So I'm like, you know what? Like, we've given you enough free educational tools. If you want to come to some paid workshops, you can do that. And I launched these workshops and it's $100 and I might be selling like, 30 people to these workshops. And as an entrepreneur, when you're building something, every time you get a market fit, you're like, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, but I still have a moment of like, man, should I have been doing this sooner? Like, and my brain is also like, well, will they pay $100 to come to a workshop when you've been helping them for so long? But I'm like, I've done the work to know. No, that's why they will pay $100 because you've added so much value already. But you know that through abundance, and you give the information for free, knowing that it will come back, the world will give it back, and you don't need fucking the government to give you $1,000 for each of the people. Like, the market will reward you eventually. People pay the money. And then I'm like, you know what? Like, I need to go a bit wider and let's bring in some people. And I launched the first workshop of 2025. And the most I think I'd sold was, say, 40 tickets. And then I started to cap them at 30, 40 people just to ensure that we have a good amount of people just in case there's too many questions. This one, I'm like, right, let's just send it. And there's 50 people purchased in 24 hours. I'm like, whoa. I just created a digital product with a workshop that hasn't been yet. Yeah. And run an email out to people, and $5,000 is now sitting in the bank account.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that isn't a small amount of money. And so then I'm like, okay, I'm going to ensure 100 people come. So it's a $10,000 workshop. Now, years ago, I probably didn't actually think that I didn't have a seed planted that I could have $10,000 sitting in a bank account before hosting a workshop, and that you sit on Zoom with two people and have a yarn, and people sit there for 2 hours and learn some stuff, and then there's 10 grand for doing that. But that should...
It does sound pretty wild when you say it like that.
Yeah. Hopefully that blows some people's minds. But even like, I go and do these things because I live in a world of abundance. And yeah, I don't always get these offerings right, and I get smacked in the face. But now I've got a new ceiling. I'm thinking, fuck, I'm traveling to Wellington to speak for $5,000. But I can do 100 people in a workshop from my office without having to go to Wellington. Yeah. Is my $5,000 too cheap? Like, everything just changes again. And then I'm like, I wonder what the next guest is going to be like. They might not be as popular, for instance. Yeah. But yeah, I hope that just shows how much money is actually out there. Because I've gone from, okay, let's start doing some paid workshops to, okay, let's cap them at 30 people. Bang, they're selling out. Okay, we can do multiple of them. No one's asked for a refund. I've said to them, because I live in a world of abundance, if you don't learn anything, let me know. Why are you the $100? I'll stay back at the office and do it. Right, let's bring in a different person. Bang, there'll be 100 people there at a minimum. And now I'm like, I'm going to fucking make sure there's 100 people there because I want to do a 10 grand workshop. Yeah, yeah. But I didn't really have 10 grand workshop on the goal list for 2025. It just starts to happen. And I'm like, okay, now it becomes a goal. But without, if I'm living in scarcity of like, they'll never pay $100 to come to a Zoom stream, doesn't happen. So exactly, I have to go to the market with like, you will pay $100 for this and I will see you there and it will be epic. And if it's not, you can have your $100 back.
Yeah. And you also go through like a period of like, once you have the thought process of abundance, you like try your first one and it doesn't work. But that doesn't stop you because you know that it's possible to sell 100 people webinar, because some people do 10,000 people webinars. Yes. So it just means you haven't got the formula right yet. But because you can live in that abundance mindset, you just keep trial and erroring stuff and testing until you get it right. And then eventually it's like, boom. Yeah. There it is. Yep. Da-da-da-da-da, that formula we'll use from now on.
Yep.